Hey, we are live. Yeah, we are live, bro.
Right. It's another Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Thursday na naman. Ang bilis ng oras.
Yeah,
This January is not January like the other January set of January before.
yeah, I know. I know. Yeah,
It's pretty fast.
yeah. Hope you guys are all well. I mean, I just came down with the flu
Yeah,
this
I just
week.
I just finished getting sick, so
Uh,
I'm good.
yeah. And send your praise and thoughts to Jasper.
Oh, Babyface
He's,
producer Jasper is
yeah,
not doing okay right now. He's in the hospital for dengue.
yeah. So yeah,
Padalhin siya ng lakas. What
yeah.
up, Doc G? Julian?
Julian,
Ina,
Ina,
hello.
hello. Usuals.
Sabay-sabay
Hey.
tayong mid-March. Mid-January. Mid-March. When I say March.
Yeah, it's already mid-January. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. How is everybody's... Kasakit na ba lahat?
Yeah, flu season. Yeah, Glendale. You are correct. It is. And yung mga flu ngayon, it's kind of worse than it was or I don't know if kung ganun or tumatanda lang ako because back then after a day you're already good, you're fine. But these days it will take you 2 to 3 days at the minimum to to get better. I don't know if you're the same, bro, pero
It took me, a few days.
few days, diba? Yeah.
What up,
Uh,
D Prime, Joseph,
D
Jace?
Prime, Jace, Joseph. Hello, hello, guys.
Maraming salamat. Let's all get through this week together.
Yes.
It's bilis in January na ba? What do we do to it? Is it because we got sick?
Probably. And I think kasi I think it's because I got busy with things this month.
Hello, Harvey.
Harvey, what's up?
How are you, man? Papasabay ba tayo ng bagong Mina Shirakawa photobook? What say you? Bruce, are you here? Is Bruce here? But he's
Should
not
be.
here. Hey. Wala namang pera yun, Julian eh. Huwag mo nang banggitin. Wala namang pambili yan.
And she's busy training as of this.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's signed by Mina, and then I'm sure may kiss pa yan. Knowing how things are. Alright, it's almost time to shut up.
I'm the best wrestler in the world.
My name is Collar Cash Money Cannon.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
What do we want to talk about?
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name.
Stan C, the voice of Philippine wrestling. University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Romoran, the fancy dad. University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Chino Diao, Best Gout Machine, San Sebastian College Recoletos, College of St. Benilde, De La Salle University, International Academy of Film and Television.
Emil Nate, small forward, the Ateneo de Naga University.
Rowan ASH, bad boy ng dance floor ng Quezon City, Central Scholar University, Manila.
I love you solo.
When you're listening.
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Right. You are listening and watching the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. We even have a Triple H, intro there. What up? I'm Romoran. This is Emil Nate. Stancy is somewhere in the ether, but he's having computer problems right now, so we're waiting for him. But while we wait for him, let's start the show. How is everyone doing tonight on a kind of warm Thursday evening? We're already halfway through January as of this week, and it's, as we were saying during the pre-show, that it's getting by pretty fast. Like, I don't understand. This Januaries are supposed to be long. They're supposed to take long, but they're going by pretty fast right now. How are you, Emil?
Yeah, I'm doing better now. This week, nagkasakit ako. I had the flu.
Yep.
So it was a rough couple of days for me. But it's manageable now. Meron pa rin ako sipon, meron pa rin ako hobo, but I'm well enough to do this live stream here tonight. And I hope our viewers and listeners are also doing well at this moment.
Yeah, Stan is here.
Yes, Stan is here.
Do you perceive us?
Yeah, try natin. Let's see if everything's working. I think I'd like to think everything is working fine right now. So really glad to be back on the live stream. I'm really glad to have my voice back as well. Last week was terrible. So just trying to pick up where we all left off. So your good vibes to Sir Jasper, who is down with the sickness. He's got dengue. He's in the hospital. So we hope he gets better really soon, because we miss him. And I'm sure that his good health also misses him as well, as much as he misses it. All right, some plugs before we start. We'll get to our usual plugs. Emil, let the people know how they can be part of our patron community.
All right, so you could be a part of our patron community by subscribing to either one of two platforms now. It's actually Patreon at patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod for only $5. Sobrang mura, sobrang sulit. For that price, you get a lot of perks, a lot of benefits, Discord server, review content, discounts on service fees sa buys, special treatments when it comes to our events like viewing parties, quiz nights, and a whole lot more. And then, so again, by links right there below, by subscribing to either one of those, you're supporting the podcast, and you'll gain you'll gain new friends, like I did along the way. So again, the links are right there below. Patreon.com/wrestling podcast and ganknow.com/wrestling2xpod for only $5. Good.
All right.
All right, next plug.
Hey. Yeah. Blast TV said in a post last week that WWE is still there with them.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what we were asking for, it is true. It is the truth. Blast TV still has the WWE weekly television shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT Live. Hindi mo kailangan ng VPN para panoorin yun live as it happens on Blast TV. But Netflix, if you can find a way, if you can subscribe to a VPN, whether it's paid or free, Netflix has the shows, and Stan and Carlo Pamintuan's Tagalog commentary is also available around 48 hours after each show has been broadcast. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to, watch from either platform, whether it's Netflix or Blast TV, you can make the most of it by getting the new Converge X Netflix plans. For as low as plan $17.98, you get 300 Mbps, which I am finally on right now, and the Converge box for the TV, and a Netflix basic subscription all the way up to plan 2298 with a Netflix premium subscription. I'm getting speeds of up to 300 plus Mbps. The only final boss that the Netflix the Converge subscription can't defeat is StreamYard, as Stan can attest to right now. Yung connection is Stan.
Oh yeah, Converge subscriber ako, pero for some reason, StreamYard is not working well with me.
Sa WWE, 700 Mbps yung speeds niya, pero pag sa StreamYard, di kaya. Hindi matalo-talo. It is what it is.
I don't know, man. Somebody better explain that to me. I have no idea how that
I don't know why.
or doesn't work.
So Jasper's alive. He's there in the chat.
Ayun,
Jasper,
send your good vibes to Jasper.
I'm glad that the threat of dengue isn't enough to stop you from joining us tonight, even from the chat. Jasper, pagaling, please.
Yes, please.
Marami pa tayong gagawin.
Yan.
Sobrang dami pa.
Dami tayong gagawin. Ito, one of the things na gagawin natin, i-announce na natin right now. A lot of you have been asking since Christmas time kung mangyayari ba talaga. And yes, we can confirm that the Royal Rumble viewing party is happening on Sunday, February 2, Manila time.
Yes, I posted a countdown last night. This is what the countdown is all about, because, we count down every time somebody comes in the Royal Rumble. Yes, the new Skinny Mics is now operational. Yes, I've been to it earlier this week. It is ready for us. However, we only have at this point 60 slots available for viewers watching the Royal Rumble live viewing party on February 2, 2025. That is a Sunday. Once again, the main show starts at 7 a.m. So that means doors open at 6 a.m. Early bird tickets will be at $450. Kung meron pang slots by the time we get to the show date, we'll let you know what the new price for the walk-in tickets are. Like I said, we are trying to control this one as much as possible. I have it on good authority that Skinny Mics is in the middle of expanding their current space, so we will get that news, that complete capacity by WrestleMania time. Pero for the Royal Rumble, it is still medyo maliit pa yung space. So again, 60 slots available. Early bird is only 450 pesos. We'll put up a link by tomorrow, and so you guys can start pre-registering for that day. Again, February 2, 2025. That is a Sunday. We'll see you guys there.
All right. Let's start with some wrestling talk, and we're going to start outside the ring by talking about Corey Graves, who at this point is in his 11th year of being a WWE announcer, and may news na lumabas this week that he is reportedly unhappy with his role. So he posted on Twitter, or X, however you want to call it, a few days ago, saying basically what you can see on your screen right now. Basically, hindi siya masaya na he's been sent to NXT instead of calling Raw or SmackDown, especially in this new era where Raw is on Netflix and SmackDown is now a 3-hour program. And he's deleted this post since, but Corey Graves was supposed to call NXT, pero nung nag-live na yung NXT, wala si Corey Graves. He wasn't a part of it. He was also calling Speed. He wasn't part of that either. So, yun, di natin alam what the status is right now. And, given that, I technically work with Corey Graves, I'm not going to speculate on yung future niya with the company or whatever. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, if you guys were in a situation similar to Corey Graves, how would you feel?
Uh, it's tough. I'm really the kind of person that isn't gonna make a public pot shot about a company that I work for unless I am pushed to the fucking limit. Tapos wala na akong pakialam, diba? So I guess Corey Graves has been at this point. Maybe he hasn't been happy. Maybe he wanted to be a wrestler and then he didn't. He got denied to be a wrestler, and now he can't even do the commentary job on the main roster. NXT is a hot product though. It's like if I were him, yes, I see it a different way, but it's not a shameful thing to be a part of NXT, diba, at this point. Like, it's one of the hottest brands in wrestling right now. The problem kasi with Corey Graves is that medyo ginalingin na yung pagiging on-screen heel niya, that a lot of people will maybe complain about, finding him annoying. I don't know. He's not always pleasant to listen to, and that's him really turning up the heelishness. So maybe he did himself in there. I would say that's why he kind of was passed over in favor of the Pat McAfees and the Wade Barretts of the world. So I don't know. It's if it's not a work, then poor guy kind of shot himself in the foot. But if this is him, finding a way to at least try to go back to being a wrestler, then I guess it's gonna end well for him, assuming that he gets taken off of commentary jobs after a decade or so. I don't know.
I feel like there's more to this than we know, because this isn't the first time na lumipat si Corey Graves ng show. I mean, ilang beses siya nagpalipat-lipat, di ba? Like, he's been Raw, he's been to SmackDown, he's been to NXT. So I feel like there's something more to this. But yun na nga, like, siguro he should have, hindi niya dapat display yung frustrations niya on social media. I mean, there's always a right place and right time if you want to express your frustrations about your job. But I also get what he's trying to say. He's been a commentary for 10 years now. So gets ko naman yung frustrations, but there's, again, like I said, there's always a right place and time for it. So but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this will lead to. I mean, is this a work? Is this not? Is this gonna? Does he want to wrestle again, or is he?
I know he wants to wrestle again. Yeah.
Oh, siguro, yeah, probably. So things are still up in the air at this moment.
Yeah, Emil's right in the sense na there's a right place and right time to air your frustrations. Kaya nga natin siya binigyan ng segment, di ba? Yung Play Nathan of the Week. Speaking of which, my target siya for Play Nathan. That's coming up later on in the show. But for now, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the highlights from Monday Night Raw. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about the debut of one Penta on Monday Night Raw. We all went cero miedo as he made his presence felt on Netflix in front of that huge crowd, huge ovation in San Jose, California. Yung pamilya niya nasa ringside. He had a great match with Chad Gable, which I really enjoyed calling. And you could tell na pati si Michael Cole na excited sa pagdating ni Penta. He was citing TNA, diba, yung World Championship ni Penta doon. Lucha Underground got a mention on Monday Night Raw. Like, what universe are we living in right now? Holy crap, diba? So, just being a part of that moment myself, I was so taken aback in the best way. Na parang, wow, grabe. I can't believe that this is happening to us in this wrestling moment right here that we're living in.
Did somebody say ovation? El Cero Miedo, Penta. But hey, people were complaining about how WWE spoiled Penta's return, like by selling merch before Raw went on the air, and I guess before the show happened. Dun some was it Seattle? Where were they?
San Jose.
San Jose. Yeah. So hey, sometimes you have to you have to make sure that people are there to are there to represent the surprise entrant that the surprise signing that you have, diba? So I'm okay with that. I was okay with that because it meant that people were able to be decked out in Penta gear. It's not that I didn't think that WWE fans wouldn't know who Penta is, but it's just a lot better when you're safe, diba? Tawang-tawa ako nung sabi ni Ager, tawang-tawa ako nung Michael Cole called Penta the worst kept secret in wrestling. So that means Chad Gable wasn't watching anything or doesn't read Twitter online because he doesn't know that Penta is coming, or even watch the show because he's specifically spelled out Penta last week in the vignette, in the final vignette, right? So jokes on Chad Gable for not doing his homework.
Everything about this debut was perfect in my opinion. From the entrance, from the theme song, pati doon sa lakad niya, sa entrance, and then the introduction that Michael Cole did on him. And I also like that it was a competitive match because usually, pag may mga debut na ganito, it's usually a squash, di ba? Like they would come in, the wrestler would do his signature moves, and that's it. 3 minutes, 5 minutes tapos. But this was a legit competitive match, 15-minute classic between Penta and Chad Gable, and that post-match promo was the icing on the cake. You know,
was it though? Was it really?
Yeah, I love it.
It was a whole ass Oscar acceptance speech.
It was a passionate speech from Penta, and the whole crowd got behind him. Diba? That's all you want.
Wait,
for a first
can I
outing,
just share this story?
Yeah.
I want to share this bit. So, di ba, nung una nag-English si Penta, tapos nag-Spanish siya. Gago, na-translate din ako. Tawa puta, ano sinasabi nito? Yung first sentence niya, na-translate ko pa eh. Yung second and third, nagtingin na kami ni Carlo. Sabi namin, puta, di ko na to alam.
I think you get a pass naman because he wasn't speaking in English.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. What do you think about Penta heading straight to Raw as opposed to sina Ethan Page, Lexis King, and Shawn Spears being on NXT?
It's funny. I guess it shows that they thought of Penta as a big name, but not big enough that they didn't, that they were still able to, back it up by releasing merch of Penta before the show started. So, sakto lang. I guess it's okay. People will bitch kasi if he went to NXT pa, diba? So, treat him like a big deal, and then I guess that's a signal na rin for Phoenix na, okay, you guys are big deal. So when you come over, you will also be shot straight to Raw or SmackDown, wherever have you.
Yeah, yun. Yung last point ni Ro, tama. Like, it's basically sending a message to Phoenix na he will be taken care of once he goes to WWE the same way Penta was. Plus also I think WWE sees more kasi with Penta. Like, no offense to the other guys, but sa merch pa lang, di ba? Like, sobrang di pa nga nag-debut, mabenta na agad eh. So they definitely see big money here with Penta.
Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of big names, more headliners have declared for the Royal Rumble match this year. You've got Cena, Roman Reigns, Drew, Punk, Rollins. I believe Jey Uso is in the Rumble. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
He was, yeah. He pinanggit yung pangalan niya eh, when Michael Cole was running down the list. So he is.
Yeah. So what do you think about this one? Is this the most top-heavy the Royal Rumble match has been in recent memory?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it's probably not since the early 2000s or whatever. Or the early 2010s at least. So I guess yeah. Although, Brock Lesnar has been. Brock Lesnar being in the Rumble makes it big, makes it also kind of top heavy. So yeah, not that it means anything because people will still watch it anyway, just for the spectacle of counting down, people, the entrance, and then guessing who will be the surprise, diba? So yeah, I it's neither here nor there for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the most top heavy rumbles I've ever seen. Kasi I've been a fan for over 12 years, and this is the first time na I'm already excited with the announced lineup. Hindi ako basta-basta excited na okay, abangan ko kung sino yung mga surprise entrants. No, I'm already excited with the field that we have because there's so much that can happen. So ang dami ng scenarios ng dami ng scenarios na sinasabi ng mga tao like what if this guy wins? What if this guy wins? And it's not a predictable rumble like nung past. Okay, we all know Cody's gonna win the Royal Rumble, but this time we're not really sure. We're only 2 weeks. We're only 2 weeks away from the Rumble, but we're still not sure who's gonna win. At least.
Oh, okay, sorry. This is where I come in with the press release that I got a couple of days ago. This is legit. This is a legit press release that I got in my email inbox. And according to the press release, it is a book of odds, a list of odds for the men's Royal Rumble this year, and the front runner for Royal Rumble favorite is one John Felix Anthony Cena. So he has he's like 2/3 of the odds of winning. Tapos it's up here. Let me read it really quickly. It's right here. So it's Cena with 59.8 odds, 59.8% odds. Rollins at number 2 with 25% odds. Punk at number 3, 18.2% odds. The Rock at number 4 with 12.5%.
Wow.
And Roman Reigns at number 5 at 10%. After that, it's Drew McIntyre with single digits. So that is, I'm glad that they thought that I was important enough to be sent this list. So kung ano kayo, yun yung listahan ng pwede nyong ano.
And you could make a legit case for all of them, honestly. All the names that Ro listed, you could make a legit case for all of them to win the Rumble. So this makes this one of the most exciting Rumbles up to date.
If I were a gambling man, I'd put the money on Roman because number 5 at 10% odds. I think you might get your money's worth if he wins.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah, yes, my watch party. We said it earlier nung stream. Tuloy tayo Sunday, February 2 in the morning sa Skinny Mike's in its new location sa W5th Avenue in BGC. So we hope that you can join Sina Rose and Emil when they host it on February 2. All right, congratulations go out to the very first Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria. She defeated Dakota Kai in the finals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. And I was pretty happy with this one. Medyo sad kasi talo si Dakota. But then again, si Lyra Valkyria, she's also been built as someone to watch out for, especially when she made it to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament not even 2 months or not even 3 months into her main roster run.
I don't know. Hindi kasi I like Lyra Valkyria. The problem was hindi naging matunog yung pangalan niya after the Queen of the Ring, after all of that stuff. They didn't do right by her, and then I feel like this was them making up for it when a lot of people wanted someone like Dakota Kai to win instead. So yes, I have faith in them that they'll do right now that she's champion. Pero I felt like they have to claw back to that point instead of them starting at a good point already with Dakota Kai, the same way they did for Chelsea Green in the Women's United States Championship Tournament.
I don't mind this, honestly. They had a banger of a match naman nung Raw, which is, so I have faith that Lyra is going to be a great first Women's Intercontinental Champion. Pero a lot of people really hoping for Dakota actually to win this. So maybe there's a rematch down the line, I guess, for the first challenger, I guess, for Lyra. So let's see.
Mm-hmm. What about Dakota? Where do you think she goes from here? Kasi sabi nyo nga, she had the fan support, and here she is, once again, a bridesmaid, not the bride.
Di ko alam. I guess
Maybe
she's just
could
getting
go after
WWE
the,
main
no.
roster money.
Yeah. Probably this might lead to her challenging Rhea for the championship.
Sana.
Diba?
Sana.
If she has a fan support, diba? And WWE hears it, so no nothing. Let's hope for the best for Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm. All right, one last highlight from Monday Night Raw. We got Jey Uso and Gunther coming face to face, and it was made official towards the end of the show by Raw GM Adam Pearce. Now, one of the big matches for Saturday night's main event later this month is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, they sped run the whole drama thing involving Jey Uso. So they only have 2 weeks to build this match. So they like Gunther fired all the shots. Calling Jey Uso a great tag team wrestler and all that. Mas may sense naman to kasi may history na silang dalawa. Because Jey fought Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. So I'm okay with that. It's more, it was more organic to me than Gunther calling out Damian Priest some months ago. But I like this a lot. At this point, since Jey is down like 0-2 against Gunther, parang there's a good argument to be made for Jey winning the whole thing and just resetting the World Heavyweight Championship. But again, I don't see it happening because it's Saturday night's main event. I mean, it's just a Saturday night or Sunday morning for us, popcorn show.
Mm-hmm.
If they haven't announced Jey Uso to be in the Rumble, I would have legit think that he might win the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. Pero he's going to be in the Rumble, so that made me think he's not, because if you're a world champion, you're not going to go into the World Rumble. So
Edi i-withdraw niya yung entry niya pag siya yung nanalo.
Oh.
Di ba pwede maging sigurista, Emil?
Pwede naman bumawi. May championship ka na eh.
Well, yun nga eh. Like,
Brock Lesnar entered the 2020 Rumble as WWE champion.
Yun kasi may storyline yun eh. Like, he wants to parang...
To kill everyone.
Context nun. Yeah,
he wanted to kill everyone.
Oh, but this one, I don't know. Because he was already announced. I just don't think he's gonna win because he was already announced for the Rumble. That's the reason why.
Pwede naman bumawi. Ang dami-dami pwedeng pumalit sa kanya kung nanalo siya.
Yun nga eh. But at this
I-clip
moment,
natin tong prediction ni Emil, tapos pag nanalo si Jey Uso sa Saturday night's main event, lagay natin yung Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, let's
Jasper is
take
here
another
watching,
break.
so he knows what to do.
Yes, yeah. Jasper knows. All right, let's take another break. When we come back, let's talk about NXT. But first, we're going to hear from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. Hang on, let me get to that break.
Yun yung tama si Doc G. Pag nanalo si Jey Uso ng World Heavyweight Championship, papasok nila si Ma'am Doris Bigornia.
Speaking of Doris Bigornia, so Jey Uso came down, di ba? Then meron pa siyang drone shot nung entrance on Raw. And I actually said, nasa si Doris Bigornia. So,
and your boss is like, who the fuck is he talking about?
So her name is now in Netflix.
Nasa transcript na.
Oh. All right, let's talk about NXT. And we're going to start with Oba Femi, who had his championship celebration as the new NXT champion. Tapos, lumabas si Eddie Thorpe, who challenged Oba Femi. They're going to have an NXT championship match next week. But before that, Oba Femi went so far as to call Eddie Thorpe a cockroach, a piece of bubble gum that stays on the sole of his shoes. So, what do you think about Oba Femi reaching this status na parang Braun Breaker na siya on Raw, di ba? Because Braun Breaker is basically a tweener na depending alignment niya sa kung sinong kalaban niya. And it seems like Oba Femi is kind of like that right now.
Oba Femi has been listening to Emil. Has been listening to Emil rant.
And wants to defend Emil's honor.
Hey, we're talking about him. Emil is hating on him. Well, I don't know. He's not hating on him so much now that, Eddie Thorpe's a full-fledged heel. But if I don't think there's anyone else, as good as Eddie Thorpe as a challenger, diba? As we've mentioned before, the NXT championship scene has been a little thin. And I don't hate Eddie Thorpe as the guy right now because he does have that NJPW pedigree. So good. It's now time for him to show why he was signed in the first place.
Yeah, aside from Ethan, Eddie is the next best best heel right now in NXT. And I like this program right here because it transitions Oba from being a full-fledged heel to someone who's a tweener who's just gonna kick everybody's ass. Doesn't matter if you're a face or you're a heel, and that's like the perfect role for him. And he's been getting Oba Femi is getting more cheers every week, so might as well let him be that guy. So I like this little program that he has with Eddie Thorpe. This will probably lead to a championship match at Vengeance Day.
No, it's happening next week.
Oh, next week. Yeah. So
not
paying attention
ka. Well, what do you think about yung difference in Trick and Oba Femi as NXT champions? Kasi si Trick, diba, man of the people, represents the brand. Si Oba Femi, he's really taking being the ruler seriously. Like, this is my NXT, diba? Kaharian ko to and all of that.
At this point, Oba Femi is also a man of the people anyway because he's super over.
Oh, yeah.
Diba? So, ganun din. Halos.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Not much different, honestly.
Well, kinakalaban niya si Ava, diba? Like when he grabbed Mr. Stone and pinned him against the wall to try and get what he wants. That's how the match happened.
Yeah, but he's still over. Diba? Like, people love him. People say, ooh, diba? they chant that with him.
Iba yung aura niya eh. Like, he comes out, diba, in these shirts that not everyone can pull off, and then he's dancing along. Like, he's this big dude that, doesn't mess around, and yet he's dancing to his own theme.
You know how Killmonger got over after the first Black Panther movie? It's kind of like that. People like him kasi may dating siya. May aura nga siya, as you mentioned. So, I will say that he is still a man of the people, just in his own way. About like how Trick used to be before he turned fully face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So naman, let's go to the women's division here, where Roxanne Perez is no longer NXT Women's Champion. She did a promo at the end of NXT, and out came Bayley, much to everyone's surprise. And now Roxanne has started something with Bayley.
Yeah, I guess she's done pretty much what there is to do in NXT, so she's due for a graduation story.
Yeah. Oh, this is pretty much This is pretty much a graduation storyline here for Roxanne, and whenever this match goes down, it's gonna be a good one. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Sige, bago tayo mag-proceed to our next point, sagutin natin tong si Sebastian on YouTube who asks, do you guys think CM Punk will be at Raw next Monday? Because I am debating if I should go. Sebastian,
you should go.
Just go for the experience. But
to answer the question, I do think
Punk will be there.
No.
Oh, hindi ko alam.
I do think Punk will be there because he was here the week after the big win after Seth Rollins, diba? He didn't have to be, but he is, and he declared for the Rumble. So to build up the Rumble, he has to be here up until the next couple of weeks, diba?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ako sasabihin ko lang, kung si Punk lang talaga yung dahilan kung ba't gusto mo manood ng Raw, nasa sayo pa rin yung decision if you want to buy a ticket, right? Like, I don't want you to spend your hard-earned money and then, let's say, CM Punk doesn't appear, magagalit ka, tapos sisisiin mo kami, di ba, sa Wrestling Podcast. So, I don't want that to happen to you. So, Sebastian,
No.
the power is yours, diba? The choice is yours.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, it's a gamble. Like, this is not financial advice, if you will. But my analysis is that he will show up because you do need to sell the Rumble, and Raw is at 3 hours anyway.
Yeah.
Ito, another good question from Cozy sa YouTube. Do you guys think Penta will interact with Chelsea Green, Io, or probably Kyrie in the future? So for context, in case hindi nyo alam bakit ito tinatanong ni Cozy, these women had matches with Penta in Lucha Underground, and they were not funny haha matches. They were actually serious, badass matches.
I mean, they did mention Lucha Underground on commentary, so Triple H will likely have already seen clips of those matches. So I'm sure they will do a if you know you know callback. Like Chelsea Green did a if you know you know callback from her days on Raw, in that Stephanie McMahon Brie Bella storyline. So
yeah, as Megan,
nothing is
Megan
off the table. Nothing is off the table anymore.
Yeah, they'll probably drop an Easter egg for those who know. So mga natin, diba?
All right, back to NXT talk. So, one of the last few matches on NXT this week was Fraxium defending their tag team championships against OTM. And man, these guys, they're undefeated right now. They're undefeatable. Diba? Like, no one can put Fraxium away for some reason.
Anong mauuna? Mag-break up ang Fraxium or lumabas ang GTA 6? Kasi at this point, I do not know what is happening first because they've been drawing out the whole Fraxium is fine thing for so long now that it has become a feature of the Fraxium relationship than a bug. I don't think they're breaking up. I think they're just teasing the fracture of Fraxium, if you will. But yeah, I'm kind of tired, if only because we're getting teased so much that it doesn't make sense that they're dysfunctional, but they're functioning. You know, like something has to happen to this. And if you're not going to break them up, at least have them lose the championships.
I think for me, Fraxium now is like the Kobe and Shaq of WWE. They had dysfunction, but they still won 2 championships. It had a very long reign at the top. So that's what I think of Fraxium now. Like I think their appeal is that will they, won't they thing, you know, and that for some reason it's been mag-isang taon na since they've been champions, and for me, there's still wala pa rin fatigue for me. I still enjoy their matches each and every week because there's always that hook that okay, will they
break up?
Won't they? Oh, ganun. So
yeah,
there's always a hook every time you would see a match.
Yeah, but you know, I can only be strung along for so long, right? And Jace is right. Nauna pa mag-break si Jack Roberto tsaka si Barbie Barbie Forteza before Fraxium.
Oh, no.
I mean, what's going on, yo? Who's next? Nauna pa mag-break si...
Wag na kayo pumunta sa Bag of Beans at mag-picture dun. All right, you see DIY in this image, and they also made their presence felt sa NXT, diba? The 2-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Do you think something's going on here? Is DIY going to have an extended return stay sa NXT?
That would be a banger. DIY versus Fraxium.
I guess it's for the matchup, I suppose.
Yeah. And then ganun din eh. Yung may, di ba DIY also had the same thing back in the day. Ganun din eh. Will they, won't they? And it went on for over a year before they broke up for real. The first time, the first run. So I would love to see that match, definitely.
All right. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll cross over to AEW. And oh boy, we have a lot to talk about kasi nandun yung ating Playa Nathan segment of the week. Yes, all right, so let's hear from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. Yeah, people are excited for Play-A-Natin. Do you want to go
It's
with
a
it now, or you
phenomenon.
want to save it for the end?
Well, no, sige, let's give the people what they want.
Yes,
Oh,
As Excalibur would say.
All right, so let's set the stage here and talk about the return of Samoa Joe. So he came out para resbakan sina Hook and Katsuyori Shibata against the Patriarchy. Why? Kasi malapit ng pilayin ni Christian Cage si Hook. All while, good old Taz made his return to commentary and sat there. And because of that, my friends, Taz is this week's target for Play-A-Natin with Emil Nate.
All right. So this week's Play-A-Natin goes to Taz for being a terrible father.
Wow!
Damn! Cool. I mean, in that moment, we called it. We called it. Like, I'm not the only one who shared the same sentiment.
Terrible father.
Right?
Maybe just misguided decisions, but terrible father. Damn.
Alright, so this was
Pasmado dida mo ngayon,
This was a shared pick from all of us on the podcast. We were deciding who gets the nod this week. And, okay, so few things. He, on commentary, he kept saying that, I have to keep it professional. But the feud is about you. The feud started when Christian Cage attacked you and Hook to defend his father's honor, to defend your honor, goes after Christian and had this rivalry. So for you to say, okay, I have to keep it calm, I have to be professional, first of all, that's kind of disrespectful to your son who's out there risking his own body to defend your honor. And then, nung pipilayan na siya, he was down, and there was 3 guys ganging up on him. He was
so wishy-washy.
Yeah, he was still thinking about it. Like, should I go there? You should, because your son did the same thing when you got attacked weeks ago, months ago. So, yun. And it took Samoa Joe. Buti na lang dumating si Samoa Joe. Kung hindi, ano nangyari kay Hook, diba? So, I think any other father would have saved their son real quickly in that situation. So, Taz.
Emil, let me ask you. What if someone rebutted and said, Emil, Taz could not get physical with the Patriarchy because he's been retired for 20 plus years because of neck issues?
So just shield your son from all the beating. You don't have to do anything physical. You can just distract him from. You can just distract him from doing something to your son. Until such time na dumating si Samoa Joe. And okay, so and then Joe can take over. But to do nothing in that situation, come on. He should have done better. His character should have done better than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, serious analysis here. This is a more of a production side analysis.
Yeah.
When you do segments like this where you have elements that are necessary to maintain the logic of a scene. For example, Hook is getting attacked. Taz is sitting at ringside on commentary.
And everyone knows sa mag-ama sila.
Yeah. And everyone knows why Christian is going after Hook. And why and that Christian went after Taz, diba? The whole thing is when obviously they were waiting for Samoa Joe's music to hit. So that Joe could come down and save Hook.
Yeah.
So pag ganun, it's on TK to hit the button already so that you don't make Taz look like a dumbass and have Emil go off on him.
What Rosen is true. Nagmukhang tanga si Taz talaga.
Yeah.
Kasi,
so,
diba?
It's on production. It's on the storytelling. It's on the cues, the little cues, the everything happening on screen to make sure that you don't make your characters look dumb. It's really all that is.
Kasi diba when you take a look at yung relationship ng family members, diba? Blood, diba? Tama si Emil. Kahit na retired ka na, meron kang neck issues or back issues or whatever, diba? Kung parent ka, nakita mo na yung anak mo mababaldado dahil sa pambubuli or pangaharas ng ibang tao, di ba? You're gonna step in. Any parent would do that. I'm not a parent. I wouldn't know. But if my sister were in that situation, I would rush in, di ba? I would drop everything and rush in, di ba? So, yun, parang I wish there was more care put into the logic behind yung relationships
Hindi naman
nila.
yung logic.
That nuance. Oh, fine. The nuance of the relationship. Kasi
Hindi,
parang in-ignore nga eh. Na-ignore siya eh.
The queuing, the whole production of it all. Yun ang naman
Yeah,
yung-
but because the production wasn't as careful, na-ignore or na-neglect yung nuance na mag-ama sila.
Right.
So, yun yung pino-point out natin. So, sayang kasi, ngayon, tama si Ro. Emil went off on Taz kasi nagmukhang tanga si Taz as a character.
Yep. That's the first time we all agreed for the play name.
I mean, I wasn't agreeing because I know that, you know.
Ro, what was your rebuttal in our group chat?
My rebuttal.
Your rebuttal.
Okay, no. My take on that was that I kind of understood Taz because I have sat there on commentary and watched Main Max get ganged up by Oro Plata Mata, by Bahay ng Liwanag, and
Is
I couldn't
Main
do
Max
that.
your son?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's my
Main
son.
Max your son?
It doesn't
No,
matter.
no.
He's no. He's not my son. It doesn't matter. He's still my brother. And in kayfabe, I would still have to go down there because I am a former wrestler. Not a former. I'm still a wrestler. I know how to get physical. I can drive off gangs of other people by myself, and I can help him physically. But I cannot because that's not what I'm scripted to do. So I felt for Taz in the moment because, syempre, he wasn't scripted to be the guy to help Hook in that segment. So again, it is the production causing all of these things. But anyway, yes, there it is.
Mm-hmm. All right, Emil, any other thoughts you want to get off your chest as part of Play a Name?
I think we said everything in terms of for that segment, so we can move on.
All right. Let's talk about the main event. Jon Moxley in his hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio, bringing maximum carnage against Powerhouse Hobbs. What did you think of the match?
It was okay. It was a good TV match for what it is. It wasn't going to blow up anything. I felt like it was kind of rushed as promotion-wise, so it wasn't the hottest it could be. It was a serviceable match. I don't know. Obviously, I think Mox played it. I think he tried to make the most out of it and to make the most out of the drama or make more drama than there was initially. So it's what it is. We knew Powerhouse Hobbs wasn't going to win the championship, so they did what they could there. They tried to make it look real, better. It's one of those things. Okay, they're just building up to the bigger matchup, which is Mox versus Cope.
Kala ko yung 12-man tag sa collision.
Here, at least, they made Hobbs look really strong with the way the match went and the way the finish went as well. It was fine. Again, like we said, it was fine for a TV main event. Pero yun nga, we came into the show knowing that Hobbs wasn't going to win the championship, but it was a good showing nonetheless for Powerhouse Hobbs.
What did you think of Rated FTR showing up after the concerto was hit on Hobbs?
If it wasn't for Taz, this would have been my player name of the week. Like,
ito na naman the weird booking decisions, creative decisions that make people look silly. It really does remind you of Vince, about like. Why are these people made to look like terrible baby faces? Terrible friends.
Diba? Terrible people.
Inintay muna na na ma-injured.
Hindi niya talaga gagawin yun. Ay, puta, ginawa niya. Tara, takbo na tayo.
and it's Cope, out of all people, who is one of the most evil bastards in wrestling history with that logic. So, and, para siyang yung old Filipino movie trope na darating yung police pag tapos na yung bakbakan. Parang ganun eh.
90s action movies. Nagpatayan na sa warehouse saka dumating yung mga police.
So like this, I guess, is an extension of our Play 90 of the week. Rated FTR for
Daming
responding a little bit too late to Powerhouse Hobbs.
Devoted a whole quarter to play Nathan.
All right, on to the women's division naman. Toni Storm won the first ever women's casino gauntlet match. She gets her rematch in Australia, but she's still going through her amnesia, and we're getting her match against Mariah May in February. So home court advantage for Toni Storm. We should also mention na si Megan Bain nag-debut siya at number 3 ng casino gauntlet match. So I don't know if you guys have been following her work.
I have not. I am not familiar with her game yet, so sorry, Megan Bain. Don't worry. I think her AEW stint will enlighten all of us.
Yeah.
Tawag doon, it's about time they started promoting the Grand Slam show. I heard that they weren't really doing much to address it. Toni Storm versus Mariah May and my amnesia girl, Toni Storm. Should be fun. I want to see how they interact, how Toni Storm plays it silly by pretending she doesn't know about Mariah May, or she doesn't know Mariah May. So I want to see what the end game is here for this particular chapter of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that their first match, Toni and Mariah, was in London.
That's right.
And now the second match is gonna be in the home court naman ni Toni Storm in Australia. So this is gonna be a good match. Yun nga, sabi ni Rona, I'm glad that they're starting to promote Grand Slam now, because I legit forgot that we have AEW Grand Slam, and I thought they're saving this for Revolution, but again, I guess it's a good thing that they're gonna have that pay-per-view a month from now, and they have Toni Storm. They have, she's gonna be the draw because she's gonna be the hometown hero there in that match. So still a month away, so they have a lot of time to cook.
Mm-hmm. Sabi ni Harvey of Wrestle Pastel, friend of the show. What's good, Harvey? Masyado raw maiksi yung women's gauntlet match. What do you think?
How many women were in the match?
It is what
7?
it is. Doesn't matter. The men's gauntlet went for like a whole half hour. Diba?
Yeah, nice.
They couldn't really do the same because it is AEW. AEW does really not take that much time when it comes to the women. So it's par for the course for Tony Khan.
I feel like that's the appeal of the gauntlet match. Ini-expect na kasi natin na mahaba because there's a lot of entries, but at the same time, the match could literally end with only like 5 or 6 people.
Yes, but they did that for the women, so why not do that for the men? Diba? So if you do that for the women, if you use that conceit for the women, it means, okay, we can do that for the women. We can do this all this time. We just did it for the women so that we don't have to spend this much time on the women more than the way we did for the men. Diba?
That's fair. Fair, actually. That's a fair point. Yeah.
All right, we're going to close out the podcast by talking about that MJF and Jeff Jarrett promo from earlier. So, second straight week na nag-promo battle sila. And I gotta ask you guys this. Are you invested in the feud? Because when I was watching this kanina, I felt very uncomfortable watching them throw pot shots at each other's mothers and partners. Na parang sa akin lang, I think I'm long past the point where I enjoy this. Kasi these people, yung mga nanay nila or yung mga asawa at partner nila, they're not part of the feud. Ang nag-aaway si MJF at si Jeff Jarrett, not Karen Jarrett, not Alicia Atout, not MJF's mom, right? They're not gonna get to like strike back. I need MJF and Jeff Jarrett to be the ones attacking one another, not like their family and stuff. Parang I just really didn't like how that bit of the promo exchange came across.
There's a couple funny parts.
Bata.
It's good that you mentioned that because this is a lot of how old Filipino wrestling feuds would go. Not just PWR. So, and after being exposed to this kind of story or this kind of exchange for so long, for the better part of my career, I'm kind of over it as well. There are a lot of fans who will still dig this type of stuff. It is juicy. It is spicy. It will always entertain some segment of the fandom. But personally, I'm kind of over it. The funny part is that they they set the table. They had to go out and set the table for Jeff Jarrett and say, "Oh, you used to do this kind of stuff, so let's do it again now." So, parang it makes sense for him to fire back with the pot shots of his own. So yeah, it's not. It didn't do much for me. It felt like it was running off a checklist. So they did the whole pot shots thing, and then they checked off the item where the MJF opponent of the day will go on a deconstruction of MJF's personality and psyche and say that he is scared and he's a child, and then MJF will get triggered and then he's going to defend himself and go on a righteous anger rant, diba? All that good stuff, which we've seen done better in previous MJF's feuds, diba? So it's clear that they're trying to turn it on, if you will, for Jeff Jarrett, and I'm not quite buying it what they're trying to sell just yet.
Teka, Emil, before you get your thoughts in here, I just want to double down on yung sinabi ko kanina about the bringing in yung other people or yung mga personal issues nila into the feud, no? Yung nga, like Rose said, we're over it because we've experienced it. And what I don't like about something like this being on a major platform like AEW is that now you encourage smaller companies or yung mga nasa lower levels of wrestling na, yeah, this is how you should do it because it's acceptable at this level. Alam mo yun, nakaka-enable siya eh. And like, we're telling you that we came from that smaller or lower level and real feelings got hurt. Real people got pissed off, diba? And resentment actually happened, diba? Between the people who were involved in these supposedly segments for entertainment. And that's why I don't like it. I would rather that you be more creative about it. Find something else to talk about. Find something else to rant about in character and build your lore with actual creative instead of saying things like, oh, Olympic gold medalists' balls or whatever. In reference to Kurt Angle, obviously.
Let me ask you something. WWE also does this, especially now in the post-CM Punk era, in the Triple H era. So what makes them different from what we just saw in AEW?
I don't know. There's always something different about the way MJF does it eh. Na parang, for starters, kasi, diba, we've already seen yung mga reports na parang, oh, hindi nila pinag-usapan kaya may nagalit. So, that's a bit of precedent. Second, I don't know, I guess I just have more faith in the home team for obvious reasons. Let me just get that out there, diba? If I'm sounding biased, it's because I'm defending the home team, my home team. Third, yun nga, when MJF does it, he does it in such a way na parang halatang he's really trying to get a rise out of the other guy.
Right,
and I don't know if he's trying to get that rise ng shoot or ng work. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know MJF in real life, diba? So hindi ko alam. But it comes across that way to me and it just triggers my own trauma from what we've gone through dito sa atin.
Siguro I can answer the question I posed by saying that when now in the Triple H era, when WWE guys use their personal issues na totoo, they happen to use it in a way that fleshes out their psyches and characters in a way that people will understand. Whereas when MJF does it, he's just trying to piss people off.
Oh, pangasal lang.
Hindi lang yun. He does it in such a if you know way. Yung parang hindi siya ginagamit in service of fleshing out whatever argument or whatever backstory. Whereas at WWE, as you said, diba, when Rollins and Punk are talking about their issues, they're telling you the story why they hate each other. As opposed to MJF just saying na, oh, yung asawa mo, dating asawa ni Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus it's maybe also MJF.
Maybe that's why MJF doesn't want to go over to WWE.
Plus, it's MJF. We have seen MJF do this so many times before. And at some point, it just gets tiring to watch the same thing over and over and over again. And it literally hasn't changed how he does these kind of promos. So, yung sa part na MJF, di na ako nabigla. I muted. But I know they put some context in it, but how am I supposed to root for a babyface like Jeff Jarrett when he's saying things about MJF's mom? But I know they put that in a context. Okay, I've done what you've done before, but still, I felt uncomfortable watching that whole promo earlier. And the thing is that the trash talk has nothing to do with the storyline of it has nothing to do with the storyline of you're gonna help me and then I'm gonna help you. So ano yung relate nun dun sa mga sinasabi nila, di ba? So ano pan trash talk lang for the sake of trash talk. So
I can answer why they did that. I can answer why they stooped to that level. It's because the fans also again like that stuff. Diba? There is a strong vocal section of the fans that will always cheer that stuff. They'll go, "Oh my god, you actually said that." They will like that. They will enjoy that stuff. The people that didn't want MJF to be a goody two shoes babyface are the same people enabling this kind of material from MJF and Jeff Jarrett.
Man.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I used to be that type of fan.
Yeah.
But now that we've gone through what we've gone through, I'm no longer that type of consumer.
Exactly.
So
I guess we're not the target market for MJF's promo at this point.
Clearly.
Possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's going to do it for the live stream. If you want to get your thoughts in, our handles are right here below. It's @_Stancy, @RowisWar, @Chino Supersized, @EML_Meister, @Monday Night Rowan. For the show, it's @Wrestling2XPod on TikTok, Twitter, and Blue Sky, @Wrestling Podcast on Facebook and on Instagram. Make sure to catch yung mga episodes namin na magdodrop at the start of the week. We've got a special interview. Can we mention it now?
Sure.
Yeah, so we're talking to Roxy, one of the Filipino wrestlers over at WrestleFest DXB in Dubai. So we're going to speak to her in about an hour from now. So we're excited to drop that as an audio-only episode sometime next week. And syempre, yung weekend reacts and picks of the week will be out on your Spotify feed on Tuesday and on Wednesday as usual. Thank you so much to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of their help behind the scenes. Send Jasper your love and your good vibrations. He needs that so he can, check out of the hospital as soon as possible from dengue. And thank you for catching another episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Really appreciate you spending your Thursday nights here with us. We got to get out of here. So for Romaran and Emil, Nate, as well as Chino Liao and Rowan ASH, I'm Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, Outcasts.
Peace.